At 34, Amanda had given up on the idea of a happy marriage after 2 failed attempts. However, she still dreamed of having a child. Time was running out, and she decided to take matters into her own hands. She approached the selection of a potential father with the utmost care. He had to be healthy, attractive, over 40, and already have grown children to judge his genetic legacy. Financial stability was also crucial. She wanted her child to be well provided for. In essence, Amanda sought to bring happiness to someone through late fatherhood in exchange for future support in raising and educating the child. Finding suitable candidates, however, proved difficult. Then she met Michael. He was 50, married, and happily so. Yet he immediately showed a keen interest in Amanda. She encouraged his interest because he fit her criteria: perfectly handsome, with an ideal character, solid financial standing, and 2 healthy, intelligent sons. They began to meet regularly. Michael agreed to help her have a child with enthusiasm, expressing his own desire to have a daughter. As time passed, Amanda found herself falling deeply in love, something she had not planned. She started dreaming of a future with Michael, even though he was still married. He too professed his love and promised to leave his wife if their relationship ever came to a breaking point. After nearly 6 months together and still not pregnant, Amanda decided to provoke a scandal to force Michael's hand. Amanda called Michael's wife and told her that her husband had a mistress who was pregnant, giving her address. 20 minutes later, Michael's wife arrived, and, as if on cue, so did Michael. The confrontation was intense. Amanda watched in pain as the man who had sworn love to her groveled before his wife, assuring her that she was his only one and Amanda was just a fling, a meaningless mistake. They left together, with Michael gently holding his wife's shoulders. Suddenly his wife turned and shouted, "And you slut, are not pregnant by my husband. He's sterile after a bout of prostatitis." It was like a veil had lifted from Amanda's eyes. So that was why he had been so eager to help with the baby. Overwhelmed by hurt and frustration, she left her house and wandered the city aimlessly. She stumbled into the first bar she found and started drinking. Everything around her became a blur. She felt a deep pity for herself and her failed life, and she began to cry. A man approached her, trying to comfort her, gently stroking her head. The next thing Amanda knew, she woke up in a strange apartment next to an unfamiliar man. Whether he was the one from the bar or someone else, she couldn't tell. Feeling awful, ashamed, and disgusted, she dressed quickly and fled, catching a taxi home. She tried to forget everything that had happened. A few weeks later, Amanda realized she was late. This was a nightmare. The child she had longed for was conceived in a moment of stupidity, accident, and wrongness. She didn't know who the father was or even remember his face. There was no way to find the place where it all happened. For the first few months, she was consumed with questions: who was the father? What were his traits? What was his genetic background? Could she love the child if he turned out to be different from what she had hoped for? But then, one day, her son, she knew it was a boy, moved for the first time in her womb, kicking. Suddenly, all her doubts seemed trivial. Would she be able to love him? She already did. As Amanda's pregnancy progressed, she found herself increasingly connected to her unborn son. The initial turmoil and uncertainty gave way to a deep, unconditional love. She began to prepare for his arrival, transforming her home into a warm, welcoming space for the baby. Amanda attended prenatal classes, read parenting books, and talked to other mothers. Each step she took was a step closer to embracing her new role as a mother. Despite the unconventional and chaotic circumstances surrounding her pregnancy, she felt a profound sense of purpose and joy. Her friends noticed the change in her. They saw how she glowed with happiness and confidence. Amanda's past heartaches and disappointments seemed to fade into the background as she focused on the future. She found strength in the love she already felt for her son, and it gave her the courage to face whatever challenges lay ahead. One evening, as she sat in the nursery she had lovingly decorated, Amanda felt a sense of peace. The walls were painted a soothing shade of blue, and the room was filled with soft toys and baby clothes. She imagined her son growing up, playing with his toys, taking his first steps, and saying his first words. The future, which once seemed so uncertain, now felt full of promise. Amanda understood that life didn't always go according to plan. Her journey to motherhood had been far from traditional, but it had led her to a place of profound love and anticipation. She knew that she would face challenges, but she also knew that she had the strength to overcome them. In the end, Amanda's story was not just about finding the right father for her child. It was about discovering her own resilience and capacity for love. She realized that happiness didn't depend on having a perfect partner or a flawless plan. It came from embracing the unexpected, finding joy in the journey, and loving with all her heart. As she looked forward to the day she would finally hold her son in her arms, Amanda felt a deep sense of gratitude. She had found her way through the darkness and emerged stronger, ready to face the future with hope and love.